So just because you have a large audience doesn't necessarily mean you're going to build an email list super quickly, but it is definitely going to help if you do. But here's the deal. You do not have to have a large audience to build a good email list. Absolutely not. You can build your email list at the same time you're building your audience. So how do you actually build it?
March 13th, 2019, aka last Wednesday, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp all shut down across the world. Thankfully, those platforms were only shut down for a day, but I believe that that day alone serves as a huge reminder to a lot of business owners and content creators the importance of having an email list. And the reason why having an email list is so important, and I mentioned it in this video right here, is that one day social media could easily shut down. And when that happens and you don't have an email list, that means that you will lose all contact with all of your followers, your customers, your clients, your audience, so on and so forth. Basically, if you don't have an email list and if you don't have a backup plan for when social media comes crumbling down one day, if that happens, then you basically risk losing it all.
Email marketing is one of the most important things you can do for your personal brand or for your small business. It is an opportunity to directly communicate with the people who are following you for whatever reason. Now, a lot of what people do wrong in email marketing is they make it all about them. It's all right hooks and no jabs, or it's all asking and no giving. So you need to avoid that, and you need to already build trust with the people that you're asking to give you their email address, because that's their privacy. That's direct access to them. You're asking a lot of them. So you need to make it worth their while, and there's a couple of ways you can do that. Number one, let them know what kind of content that you want to send to them in email. Let them know what the value is for them. Yes, you can definitely do and should do a lead magnet, a free giveaway that attracts people to join your email list. That is absolutely one of the first things you should do. But before you ever do that, there's another important thing you need to do. This is the reason that I waited well after I had a huge following in YouTube and in other social media platforms to do my email list. Are you ready for this one? You need an actual content strategy. In the same way that you need a content strategy to be successful in YouTube and in blogging, you need a content and communication strategy for your email list as well. You need to already be prepared to deliver upfront value to your email list and not just be ready to sell to them. You can always sell to them if you think that it's something that they want and would need and that you can create value for them by offering this, but it should be after you give them something that they want that's going to entice them to open an email in the first place. So if you don't have a content strategy that's going to create upfront value for your audience, you're going to lose people from your email list after they get your free giveaway. They're just going to unsubscribe. So keeping your subscribers is part of how you get to 100 subscribers in the first place. Not to mention, you'll have people talking about the value in the email list potentially.
So your email list is way more important than just, what can you sell? Yes, that's going to be the end goal for a lot of you, but please make the end goal to be better serving your audience, and you're going to get better results throughout. And as you're going through this process and you're starting to build your email list, you're going to check your email numbers every single day. How many subscribers you got, how many people are opening those broadcast emails, and all those sorts of things. And yes, those numbers are very important, but you got to remember throughout this whole process, every single person on your list is a real human being, right? It's not just about having 1,000 subscribers. It's about having 1,000 human beings on the other end. And even if you're starting out and you just have, let's say, 50 subscribers, compared to others, that might seem like nothing at all. But imagine a room full of 50 people who are there because they want to hear from you. Now that starts to put into perspective exactly what we're doing here. So treat your numbers like actual human beings, and you will better serve them and you will get more results that way.
So just because you have a large audience doesn't necessarily mean you're going to build an email list super quickly, but it is definitely going to help if you do. But here's the deal. You do not have to have a large audience to build a good email list. Absolutely not. You can build your email list at the same time you're building your audience. So how do you actually build it? See, building an email list, the strategy is not hard. Knowing what to do is not hard at all, which is what we're going to talk about today. But the problem is that sometimes people give up too quickly when they're doing the things we're going to talk about. Sometimes people think like, oh, that's not working, or I'm only getting 2 or 3 subscribers to my email list a month or a week or whatever, implementing these strategies. And I'm here to tell you that the strategies will work. The problem is that you need to make sure you're doing the right one for your type of business and the right one for your type of audience, and have some patience. Nobody builds a 10,000 person email list in a week. Nobody builds a 100,000 person email list in 6 months. Nobody builds a 1,000 person email list in 2 weeks. It just doesn't happen unless you have an audience to throw towards it already, which if you do, is going to be great, but it's still not going to be foolproof. Okay, another way that you can build your email list is to host webinars or challenges or some type of event. So this is a really also easy way to, one, build your email list, but also build your income kind of simultaneously. So if you want to, let's say, sell a product or sell a course or sell a guide or an ebook or something like that, instead of just saying, hey, it's for sale, you might consider hosting a webinar, a challenge, or some other type of online event or even in-person event, but some kind of event that is going to give away free information. They have to sign up for that with their email address. That goes in your email list situation. So you have now built your email list. They come to your event, you give them free information, and in these instances, you can sell from that webinar or challenge or event as well. So it could kill 3 birds with 1 stone. It's getting really good information out to your potential clients and customers and getting them to trust you for future endeavors. It is building your email list, and it is possibly making you money. So hosting webinars and challenges is a really great way to build your email list, as well as giving away free products. So you can also host webinars, challenges, whatever, to just build your email list. You don't have to sell off the other end. I think a lot of times people hold off on getting people to sign up for webinars, hosting webinars, because they don't have anything to sell at the end. That's okay. Host the webinar and use it as an email list building strategy so that when you're ready to sell something at the end, you have those people on your list to sell to. So in addition to hosting webinars and hosting challenges by yourself, you can absolutely do some type of joint venture to grow your email list. You can do joint webinars, joint challenges. You can participate in giveaways. You can do collaborations on YouTube, blogs, Facebook, whatever, and have that grow your email list. But doing joint ventures is a really great way to get eyeballs that weren't already on you, and then hopefully that grows your email list if you do this strategically.
People join the email list when you give them something of value. Like it have to be some type of incentive. If you just have a basic pop-up list that says,
join our email list to receive updates on deals and sales that we have going on.
Like if you have something like that, they're just gonna exit out because they don't want, what can they get now? What can they use now that they're on your website? They don't want to have to wait. They're going to exit it out. So all that boring stuff, that don't work, okay? Give them something. You can give them something free. You can give them like free tips, free guides, free shipping. You can give them money off, $15 off, $10 off, $5 off, $25 off. Like, you can give them percentage, 10% off. If you order today, like give them something that they can use now that will really motivate them to sign up and join your email list. Okay? When you go to Fashion Nova website, what's the first thing you see? Every time you go to Fashion Nova website, you can save money like today, or they always have a sale going on, like 50% off all swimwear today only. Join email list to get the coupon code or something like that. Like that's the type of stuff that gets people to really join your email list. So make sure when you are creating an email list, you keep that in mind.
Tip number 1 is you need to pick an email service provider. This is also known as like a CRM, and these are services like MailChimp, Aweber, Infusionsoft, ConvertKit. I currently use GetResponse, and I want to encourage you, you can do a lot of research here, but don't get stuck here. It does matter, but the important thing is just to get started. But one power tip is If you start with a certain email provider, make sure ahead of time that you're able to export the email list and the contact information that you get from them. And that way you can switch at any time. For me, I actually started with MailChimp a few years ago because I was able to use just the free version for quite a while before needing to switch to the paid version. However, I eventually learned that they weren't very favorable to affiliate marketing. And I think that affiliate marketing is one of the best ways to, generate income online. So I switched to GetResponse. And since that time, I've absolutely loved them. It's been amazing. They not only have a good basic model, but eventually you can move into some advanced automation. So whether you're a beginner or whether you're even more of an advanced marketer, GetResponse has been pretty incredible. And so I'll list some resources below so you can research this a little bit and even check those out. And what's cool is you can also, of course, always do free trials with things like GetResponse to just test it out, see if it works for you, how you like it, and things like that.
Next thing that you want to do is you want to distribute your freebie. Now, I'm going to use my channel as an example. On my end, I have 4 lead magnets in my business so far. I've got my Instagram guide, I've got my YouTube guide, I've got my startup guide, and I've also got my coffee chat guide. And each 4 of these freebies live in my channel through my content. Let me explain. Now, in my business, I use YouTube as my main distribution platform in order to grow my email list. But for many people, it might be different. But first of all, let me just explain how I do it, and then I'll also give you some alternative options, especially if you aren't on YouTube. Now, for me, what you'll notice is that in many of my videos, I'll actually be plugging some of my freebies if it's relevant. For instance, if you look at my most popular video on my channel, it's all about how to grow your Instagram account organically. And what you'll notice in that video is I also say, if you like this video, make sure you download my Instagram guide, which has even more tips and tricks on how you can grow on Instagram. This is the same thing with my YouTube guide. With my YouTube checklist for some of my videos where I'm talking about YouTube, I'm plugging my lead magnet. I'm saying things like, if you really like this video, make sure you download my YouTube optimization checklist in order to make sure that your bases are covered before you even post your video. The same thing with the startup guide and the same thing with the coffee chat guide. Each freebie is linked to a certain video or certain videos that tackle the same subject. And that's going to ensure that the people who are watching that video are going to be the most interested in that freebie. And this kind of goes back to my previous advice about making sure that your freebies are absolutely relevant to your audience. For example, it doesn't make sense if I'm doing a video about Instagram and suddenly I'm plugging a freebie about how to do a bronze smoky eye. It just doesn't make sense, and that freebie will probably not perform. That's why the way that I've been able to successfully grow my email list massively to over 15,000 people is because I'm very intentional with where I put my lead magnets, and I make sure that the people who are watching that video would truly appreciate having that freebie. Now, if you aren't a content creator on YouTube, do not worry. There are definitely other ways that you can grow your email list. For example, you can run Facebook ads, you can put your freebie in a Facebook group, you can even put your freebie just in your Facebook page, doesn't even have to be ads or groups. Another way is also putting it on your website, making it really prominent in the header section of your website or even the footer section of your website. And last but not least, you can also put it in the link in your bio section on Instagram. Now,
another way to build your list relatively easy is to sign up for a mailing list provider. One of the mailing list providers I use is MailChimp. I've been using them for maybe 10 years now. And they allow, I believe, the first 2,000 emails are free. Email addresses, they're free. And you can email those people without any charge. And then you get charged from there. And they're kind of expensive because there's some new ones that have come out now that charge a lot less than MailChimp. And so what I would recommend doing is Googling top email providers, email list providers, or top email lists. Google it a few different ways. You get different results probably with each Google search. And then read the blogs that compare like the top 10 or top 20 or what have you, and look at the pricing structure and see what works for you. And they're all going to be pretty simple to use, probably except Infusionsoft. That one you kind of need a 4-year degree to really know how to use Infusionsoft, I believe is what it's called. And that's what all the gurus use, but they also pay someone like $5,000 a month to run it typically, or you got to pay a lot of money to get trained properly on how to use it. But for the elementary version, that's like the Constant Contact, MailChimp, and things like that. So only use the emails you're going to be actively emailing. And so you have some people who send a daily email. that's not for me. You have some people who send 3 emails a week. Some people send 1 a week. Some people send 2 a month. Some people send 1 a month. It's up to your personality and how you want to bug people, because you are bugging people. You are interrupting their peace. You are adding to their workload. You're another email in their inbox that they have to sort through. So you do get on people's nerves with a mailing list. But it is, in my opinion, right now, the most effective way of marketing. It's the most effective way of marketing. It's the most lucrative way of marketing. And it's way easier. And then when you want to be private, when you don't want to put on display to your whole social media what you're doing, you can just send it to your email list and just work with those people that have come into your brand. And the way to build the list easy, the way I did it, was I signed up on MailChimp. I created the list. It's like create a list. MailChimp walks you through how to use it. Created the list, the motivation list, and then it was like, get the link or share your list. And so I got the link and I posted the link on my Twitter. I posted the link on my Facebook feed and posted the link in my Instagram bio, and just told people, hey, sign up for the motivation list. So even if one person signs up, most likely 5 or 10 of your Facebook friends will sign up every time you post it. So now you're building your list.
What you can also do is get them excited before it's even ready. So for example, if you know that you are going to create a free challenge in, I don't know, say April, then before April and March, start getting them excited. I've got something really excited coming that I've been working on. I cannot wait to share it with you. You could even maybe share a little behind the scenes. So if you've got like a workbook you've created, take a screenshot of it, put a really pretty pitch together and be like, oh, so excited to share this with you. This is coming soon. I'm working on it. You're going to absolutely love it. So those are that's your community. So excite them, warm them up to what you have coming. And then when you've created the freebie, you can put it out there and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this for ages. I can't wait to get to sign up for it and to use it. So use your community effectively when it comes to the free stuff you're creating to get them to sign up for what you have going on. And then also, because they are part of your community, you could say, if you have any friends that you feel would absolutely love this and would find this really valuable, share it with them, because the more people you kind of do this stuff with, the more you're going to get out of it. I say that especially when I'm doing a challenge, because it's always better to do a challenge with other people. So I'm always encouraging people to share it with their friends, get your friends involved, do this together, do it in a group, get together, go through this stuff. Even if it's a workbook, people can do it in groups and it's way more powerful. So encourage sharing, but definitely leverage your Facebook group if you have one. If you're part of other Facebook groups where the people inside of that Facebook group are your target audience, you could consider sharing your offer in there, but you need to make sure that you abide by the rules of that group. So maybe they have a specific post that goes out where it's like share your offer, because that's what we do in our groups. So look out for opportunities like that too. But basically, you just want to spread the word about what it is you're creating. Tell your audience about it. Shout it from the rooftops, but again, not in a salesy, spammy way, but in a way that, because you're so excited about it and you want them to get excited about it too, because you know what you've created is going to give them so much value.